Let's get started with adaptive immune system. Immunity can be defined as the body's ability to defend against specific pathogens, foreign substances in the initiation of disease processes. The multidimensional response initiated by the body's various defense systems is known as the immune response. Some of these responses become active almost immediately, while others develop slowly over time. It is the coordinated interaction of these mechanisms that allows the body to maintain normal internal homeostasis. However, when these mechanisms are either depressed or overactive, they become responsible for many of pathophysiologic processes encountered in healthcare. The function of adaptive immune responses is to destroy invading pathogens and any toxic molecules they produce. Because these responses are destructive, it is crucial that they be made only in response to molecules that are foreign to the host and not to the molecules of the host itself. The ability to distinguish what is foreign from what it is itself in this way is a fundamental feature of adaptive immune system. Seasonal allergies, sometimes called hay fever or seasonal allergic rhinitis, are allergy symptoms that happen during certain times of the year, usually when outdoor molds release their spores and trees, grasses, and weeds release tiny pollen particles into the air to fertilize other plants. The immune systems of people who are allergic to mold spores or pollen treat these particles, called allergens, as invaders and release chemicals including histamine into the bloodstream to defend against them. It's the release of these chemicals that causes allergy symptoms. People can be allergic to one or more types of pollen or mold. The type someone is allergic to determines when symptoms happen. For example, in the mid-Atlantic states, tree pollination is February through May. Grass pollen runs from May through June, and wheat pollen is from August through October. So kids with these allergies are likely to have increased symptoms at those times. Mold spores tend to peak midsummer through the fall depending on location. Even kids who have never had seasonal allergies in years past can develop them. Seasonal allergies can start at almost any age, though they usually develop by the time someone is 10 years old and reach their peak in the early 20s, with symptoms often disappearing later in adulthood. Allergic conditions such as hay fever and asthma are examples of deleterious adaptive immune responses against apparently harmless foreign molecules. Such inappropriate responses are normally avoided because the innate immune system calls adaptive immune responses into play only when it recognizes molecules characteristic of invading pathogens called pathogen-associated immunostimulants. Adaptive immune responses are carried out by white blood cells called lymphocytes. There are two broad classes of such responses: antibody responses and cell-mediated immune responses, and they are carried out by different classes of lymphocytes, called B cells and T cells. Helper T cells, they secrete molecules called interleukins that promote the growth CD4 plus of both B and T cells. The interleukins that are secreted by lymphocytes are called lymphokines. Cytotoxic or killer T cells. They destroy cells infected with viruses and other pathogens. They may also destroy cancerous cells. These killer cells are also called suppressor lymphocytes because they regulate immune responses by suppressing the function of helper cells so that the immune system is active only when necessary. In antibody responses, B cells are activated to secrete antibodies, which are proteins called immunoglobulins. The antibodies circulate in the bloodstream and permeate the other body fluids, where they bind specifically to the foreign antigen that stimulated their production. Binding of antibody inactivates viruses and microbial toxins by blocking their ability to bind to receptors on host cells. Antibody binding also marks invading pathogens for destruction, mainly by making it easier for phagocytic cells of the innate immune system to ingest them. In cell-mediated immune responses, the second class of adaptive immune response, activated T cells react directly against a foreign antigen that is presented to them on the surface of a host cell. The T cell, for example, might kill a virus-infected host cell that has viral antigens on its surface, thereby eliminating the infected cell before the virus has had a chance to replicate. In other cases, the T cell produces signal molecules that activate macrophages to destroy the invading microbes that they have phagocytosed.